Manny Styles.
Yeah, I got a house, I got a car, I built a life. I got a family I struggle for, I made it right. Cause things can happen, I don't take it light. Despite the possibility of tragedy, I kept my family tight. The life you're forced to have, the goals you grab. It only makes good sense to secure your bag. Cause when you recognize you gotta have it, you're tuning in to Nancy Cabot. Words like magic, heard the system dynamic. Learn before it's tragic, manage use the bureaucratic. Before it gets dramatic, yeah. And I ain't even tell you the half, but I'ma point you to the path to ensure your bag for real. Yeah. Hey.
Thank you for tuning in to Insure Your Bag podcast. I'm Nancy, the creator and host. I'm a licensed insurance expert with many years of experience in the insurance industry. This podcast is going to discuss insurance from a relatable view regarding how insurance applies to your daily lives and different business industries. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Kool Kim, aka NY Oil of the UMCs, aka Mr. 1 Minute Takedown.
Yeah, the 1 Minute Takedown champ. Come on now.
Thank you for having me in your studio and sharing your knowledge with me and everyone else. I know you've been asked many questions, you know,
Many
in
questions I've been asked over the years. Many questions.
Right. In regards to what made you pick up the pen and start rhyming, what made you, grab the microphone. You've been asked all those questions before. But today, I want to discuss with you the business aspect of the music industry, the bag aspect.
Okay.
All right? All right. So, first, let me ask you, how many years have you been in the hip-hop industry?
That would be just under 40 years now. Damn.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yo, to say that out loud.
Well, you're going to love this next question. So what age were you when you signed your record deal as NY Oil?
As NY Oil or
Yes.
as Kool Kim?
NY Oil.
Because NY Oil come after Kool Kim. Just for clarity. So are you sure you mean NY Oil?
With the UMCs.
With the UMCs is Kool Kim.
Okay.
So it's cool. The way you introduced me almost implied that I was NY Oil of the UMCs, but it's Kool Kim of the UMCs, and it's NY Oil was what I did after the fact. And now I'm back to Kool Kim.
All right.
You heard? So
okay.
That's so good. That's the world.
That's
gotta,
what I'm talking about.
A lot of people don't know. So it's like, because people don't even be knowing my name in the UMCs, like or even knowing us our individual names. They'll be knowing us as like the Blue Cheese Dudes and stuff like that. So, it be like that sometimes. You know what I mean? But with that being said,
well, let me switch it up. How old were you when you signed your first
deal? We were 17. We had we were signed to this label called Rough Luxury Records out of the Bronx. And so that was where we did our first song. It was a two-sided song. Well, it was a part of a compilation album. We had 2 songs on there. One called Invaders in My Fruit Basket, another one called Party Styling. And, that's how that was in them days. Bad contract, bad scene, bad all of that. It would later come to bite us as well. So it was like, the plight of the black man in the music business type of thing. But that notwithstanding, I was 17, I believe, because my mother had to sign as well, I believe. And then, but when we signed nationally, which was to Wild Pitch EMI, I was 19, 20 at that point. All
right. So then at 19, 20, at that age, did you know anything about the business aspect of the music industry?
So I'm going to be very honest in this discussion because I think that there's a space that there'll be parents that have children that'll be walking the same path that I walked at that age. There'll be young people that will be walking the same path that I walked at that age. And there's a part of this conversation that people don't have because they're more concerned with looking good when they have the conversation than being honest and giving information to people that you can work from, because you need to know the truth of the world and not the smoke and mirrors of the industry. So allow me to precursor my answers by saying that, all right? I was an old soul and smart for my age growing up. Both book smart and street smart. But sometimes you're so smart that it stupefies you because you're unavailable to more information, or because you're so used to being so smart in spaces that you don't take the time, you rely too much on your innate intelligence, that you don't fortify that thing with constant new knowledge, constant new learning, because things come easy to you. You go to school and pass a test without even trying, because you retain the information. It's a part of your talent set, because I write rhymes, and so retaining information to then regurgitate is a natural order of being an artist. So I'm not identifying that as that. I'm identifying it as I'm just smart. And I know stuff, and I can read 5 or 6 pages of a book and I know pretty much the whole book. Like, I know what's going on here. But you don't know what's going on here. So when I grew up, we had resources like this Business of Music and different books along that line that would give you an intrinsic understanding of the functionality of the music business and how it worked. And I had those books. And they were boring reads, you know what I'm saying, to be honest, to me, who was more of a comic book person, you know what I mean? And so I didn't. Now, let me just say also, at 53, I'm in a space where a lot of, I think about a lot of the mistakes I made in my life. And so, you know, so this conversation would be from kind of the perspective of now, an old man looking back at his youth and saying, dang, I messed that up. Like, I should have did this. I could have did my life better if I had made these better things, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of in that space. I'm in that season of my life right now. So I just need to share that as well with the viewers so y'all don't get it like I'm not self-deprecating. It's because I'm very proud of myself. I've done amazing things in this life, you know what I'm saying? I'm a leg up on human beings in general. But the facts are that I have to be, you know, this above all things to thine own self be true. So just to succinctly answer the question, I had access to information that would have put me in a position to be knowledgeable, but I didn't utilize that opportunity. And unfortunately for me, and I don't think that I'm much different than a lot of people in the industry, but there are people that came up when I came up that did read those books and did understand what splits were about, did understand what mechanicals were about, did understand what royalties meant. They understood those things. So when they were communicating with lawyers, they weren't communicating from the, yo, I got an opportunity to make millions of dollars, hurry up and let's sign this contract. They were having conversations about mechanicals and stuff like that. And so the lawyers, that the nature of the conversations had a fundamental different tone, because the lawyer's talking to somebody that understands what business they're in. And so by nature, I am going to work with somebody that understands what business they're in with much more enthusiasm than I'm gonna work with somebody that's like, they don't know crap about what's going on. But they're hungry for it. You know, I can't manage a client like that, because that client, they only see this finish line. They're not understanding all of these components that need to go into it, where they're like, yo, nah, I'm at work every day. I'm not worrying about that. You take your time and get this contract right. Let's make sure we get the best deal that we can get. This is what I'm looking for. I want these things. I didn't have that. I didn't. So as smart as I thought I wasn't smart enough to be that person. And I wasn't smart enough to take advantage of the fine print of life. And as I'm older now and I can look at things in retrospect, I realize how much of the fine print in life that I missed out on. So this is why I'm so happy to be able to speak to you, the maven of insurance, the mistress of the bag, so that, you know, because, you know, it's not over, right? Life is not over. I got God willing, plenty of years. I just got another 40 left in me based on what my parents, their ages, right? So I got 40 years to be able to enjoy this joint.
For that.
Yeah. So I'm getting it in, you know what I mean?
So to piggyback off of what you just said, so how did you manage the business side of your career
I didn't
manage
the business side of my career at
so
that age. I didn't, because I didn't know, you're right. So I owned a bar at one point in my life, right? By this point, I had understood this, but it didn't change things too much, right? So I owned a bar. My wife owned a boutique. I had a better understanding and grasp of business than my wife did. You dig? No slight against her. It just was, like most black people in America. And I'm saying most, and I could be wrong, so correct me if I am. But we approach business and we lead with our ideas and passions. I think white America approaches business from a position of economic feasibility, clear valuation, having some sense of having a sense that investors into their ideas are possible, and then knowing that they need to articulate the viability of that business idea to the investors. So things like marketing plans and business plans, and those things are more second nature. Having general financial literacy, because you grow up in a family that has built generational wealth. Not because your whole family's a bunch of lawyers, or CEOs or businessmen. You're able to do that because your grandfather was a millwright, your dad was a millwright, but when your grandfather was a millwright, he put your dad on how to move the money. All right, so this is what you do. You go and you get you this, you get that, you buy your house, you pay this on it, and then you get you a little this, that, and then you're set for life. And then you're able to put your money in this, that, and that, and that. So I have an understanding of how to have financial intelligence, right? By the time you get to the grandson, the grandson has the freedom to move with way more latitude than Jamal, or Kim, who grew up, in, middle class New York. But there's none of these gateways that existed for me to be able to access opportunities, so there's nothing there. There's only my own wits. There's nothing that supports the idea. There's just talent. I had this great visuals. Now, as business went, I think, let me just say that I kind of undercut myself to some degree to make it seem like I was just totally inept. I wasn't, but I'm looking at it now and being able to say, nah, but yeah, I was smart. Like, I was very intelligent, but not where it counted. You see what I'm saying? That it would have made the difference that I needed it to make. You see what I'm saying? Again, life is about the fine print. You know that, remember years ago you used to have to sign forms in triplicate?
Yes.
Okay. So that is a subset of the slave laws, like the voter laws and stuff like that they would put together, where these things were made to purposely gum up black people from being able to copyright stuff, or patent ideas, or get services from the government, seek out contracts that you had to sign. They had so much paperwork, and the paperwork would usually speak in jargon, which is Latin. Now they, here, thereof, and, in perpetuity, and, using terminologies and vernacular that people aren't accustomed to using if you don't have the education or the background to be able to even understand any of this, you know what I mean? And so that's where, like, that sign of forms in triplicate, they meant to gum you up so that you don't go after these things. And so a lot of us end up being subject to that as I'm screwed because I don't got this information. I don't know how to work this information effectively.
So did anyone try to school you on the business aspect of the industry? And if so, who? Like, did anybody try to, let me sit you down, young man. Let me tell you the do's and don'ts and what to look for, and maybe you didn't do this correctly this time, but next time this is what you need to do. Did anybody do that for you?
Nah, not in a meaningful way. Did we know people that were intelligent, that had some knowledge and could have blah, 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 or maybe in their mind did? Mm-hmm. I'm sure, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna take from somebody when I can't remember everything that went on 35 years ago in every conversation I had. And I know that I ran into some saints throughout the years. And I'm sure that there were some places where enduring the aggravation and frustration of feeling like I was in a losing position might have made me, because you know what happens is that all right, so sometimes what happens is people will approach you with knowledge, right? But they're looking for you to do something, and you're like, fam, that I'm sitting talking to you is the something. You understand? That I'm somebody to talk to because I've reached at least this position. Don't create barriers I'm not in the position to honor barriers. I'm in the position that I need your grace because I am a young person. I don't have the training or the background. Years ago, I watched this show, right? It was this karate flick. And so all of the kids was coming to be, to get trained by the master, right? Mm-hmm. So they had to go through this gauntlet of crazy stuff that was going on, all kind of traps and booby traps and all kind of stuff to be able to check their endurance, all kind of stuff. They was running through holes and stuff like that, getting tore up. And so the ones that actually managed to make it through, right? So there's it might have been 100 kids to begin with, 40 kids made it through. So they all get through, they sitting around, and so the servants come out before the master even arrives, right? The servant come out, they start coming out and serving the children tea. Then the master comes out, he doesn't say a word, he sits down. Uh-huh. Then the servants come out and start serving everybody tea. They serve all the kids tea. Then they serve the master tea. Uh-huh. When they finish serving the master, once they serve while they're serving, most of the kids start drinking the tea. Uh-huh. One kid's just looking at the master like, and the master then, he sips his tea, puts it down. After he sips his tea, then puts it down, that's when the kid drinks his tea. And when he does that, the master says, all of you leave. You're no good. Your parents, tell your parents you failed. And they all get up. They don't know, except for you. And he kept them because the kid understood on a very basic level just the protocol of that sort of thing. So all of these kids were X'd out, regardless of their talent, what they could have brought to the table. That didn't matter because at the very base, they didn't have an understanding of the protocol of things. I think that many young black people, and this is now speaking as an older black person, don't know those protocols, don't know those means and methods by which they should communicate ideas or a desire for help and support to their elders. They don't know. You see what I'm saying? And so as a result, they miss the opportunity to get that right knowledge, to get that information, to get that help. And I think that I may have fallen victim to that in some spaces. And that's me being gracious to life and God and knowing that I wasn't left alone throughout my entire life. That's me, but don't allow that to overwrite the fact that 90% of it was a bunch of black people gatekeeping information. So if you weren't sleeping with the right person, if you didn't have the right last name, you know what I'm saying? If you weren't friends with, if you just that wasn't your main, went in bed with the right people, it really didn't matter how earnest you were. And I've always been an earnest person, if nothing else, you know what I mean? didn't matter because they wasn't gonna help you. You know, that's just how that was. And for the UMCs, we were the first rap group out of Staten Island. So we didn't really have anybody. And so there was no peoples. It was just, yo, you gotta figure this out.
Like so many times. Over and over again.
Yeah, you just gotta, you know, we breaking down doors. So we are pioneers from where I'm from. We're not a pioneering rap group like the Cold Crush Brothers or the Furious Five, or like not like that. But for our community, we were, because we were the first from that community to pull this off and had to go venture out and meet people. And so, we got hip to some game, but not the game that you needed to be able to succeed in this industry. Or people would give you information. Like, people got a thing where they like to tell you stuff, but they ain't telling you nothing worth using. Yo, don't sign the Wild Pitch. Or so what should I do? Because every other record label passed on us. Like, what do you think? You know what I mean? Yo, all I'm saying is don't sign the Wild Pitch. Well, what should I do? Because every other record label has passed on us. So what do I do now? Because that's not useful. People have this tendency to think that presenting a problem is a solution, or warning you away from something is sufficient in the course of trying to get things done. It's like, yo, you gotta do more than warn me away, fam. You gotta tell me something. Yo, son, I wouldn't go there if I were you. Well, why wouldn't you, fam? See, now you don't listen. Son, talk to me. Because my situation, as far as I know, over there is the thing that I need. You're telling me don't go there. There's no alternative. It goes into that frame of mind where we believe that boycotting is a viable way of engaging protest. Like, boycotting is bullshit, put it bluntly. No, where's the boycott at? You're telling me to boycott, I may live in a food desert. So you don't want me to go to Walmart? It's a food desert. Only stores are here, fronts. Only I can get out of here is drugs. So I'm not going to get any good food because they send bad food to this hood. This is a fact. Anybody that know been in any kind of distribution will notice. So I have to go to Walmart. I have a half decent chance of getting some sort of fresh vegetable, some sort of fresh meat, some sort, not even real, but some sort. So now you're telling me to boycott it and I'm a sellout if I don't. Yo, son, you ain't gonna, son, you will sell out. Nah, son, you don't have a real solution. You have a problem solution. Like, you got a protest. You don't have a solution. And I think a lot of times people have protests, but they don't have solutions. A real solution, like, listen, fam, what I would suggest to you, man, is they got this thing, it's called the Black Farmer Index. Yo, go get that real quick, man, because the Black Farmer Index will put you on to all the farmers in your area. And so now you can start going, they go to the markets, you could go to the farm and be like, yo, you can pick up your eggs. Real talk, man. Yo, you ever bought beef from a farmer? Or from someone that has a farm and has cattle? Yo, first off, it's less expensive. Secondly, it doesn't even look like what you get out of the store. Thirdly, it tastes delicious. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? First, you're going to feel different from this cow that you met. You eat that cow, you're going to be like, yo, this feels different than what I'm getting out of Walmart. It feels different. It's processing in me different. I know this for a fact because I actually done this. But who's telling you that? They just telling you don't go to Walmart. And that's been my experience in the industry. Yo, I wouldn't do this if I was you. Yo, fam, that is null information. Well, then what would you do? Tell me what would you do? Talk to me. And so that's why I think, I know it's kind of long-winded answer, but it just speaks to an issue that I think is so problematic in our communities in general. And I think that's why I'm so excited about your podcast and podcasts like this that are centered around giving people right knowledge that are actionable items that people can actually do something with, not just yeah, brother, you right. Like that's so useless. And that's something that has permeated us as a people for years. is that people are more interested in giving you applause lines or speaking to your frustration, but not providing you workable, functional, practically applicable ideas. And without that, no matter how well you verbalize an idea, you're still uneducated. You know?
And you touched on this a little bit with this particular question, and it's how important is it for artists to understand the financial aspects of their career, such as the royalties and the publishing, and how you educate yourself?
Well, even if you look at it now, right? So it back then, understanding those things were important because you needed to know how you were supposed to get paid, and then what to protect in your contractual negotiations. Mm-hmm. But more than that, like, let's look at it today. So you go get you go to the studio, you build up your nice little home studio, you put together a song that sound like something, it could be a viral hit. This thing's gonna be a viral hit. The song ain't about nothing, but it's gonna work. It's gonna hit. It's one of them catchy joints. It's gonna hit. And you put it on the internet, and you go and you throw it up on the distribution sites like DistroKid or TuneCore or any number, CD Baby or any other number one of these ones that do that sort of thing, right? And you make 1 million streams because it goes viral. The kids start doing dances to it. It's funny. It's whatever that it needs to be. It's spectacle music, and people love it, and it's gonna win. And it wins because it gets millions of streams, and millions of people use this audio to blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And you don't make a penny off of it. And now you could have had that on a record, on a TV show, but you can't get it on the TV show. You don't understand why. And you should have been able to do merch and stuff like that off it, but you didn't. You couldn't. You didn't even know to do nothing like that. You didn't even know to get your own ISRC codes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. ISRC code is something that you buy it one time, and then you can generate your own ISRC codes in perpetuity. It's what you do as an artist or as a record label that delineates the fact that the music that's under your catalog is under your catalog. Mm-hmm. If DistroKid does it, it's under DistroKid's catalog. Mm. So the ownership is not the same. So when Dexter calls up and say, want to use your song for season 2, you know, and you're like, oh, yo, I could get this hit. Let's go get this lick. And now they're talking to DistroKid, and now they're getting gummed up because they don't feel like going through having to find the actual publisher and author of the joint. Mm-hmm. That's how that goes. Like, that's so not having an understanding of financials and the mechanism of the music and the business, it kills you. Not knowing about it enough to be like, yo, I'm gonna put this song out. This song could win. You know, I put out this Insure Your Bag song. It's hard. People's feeling it. Yo, I gotta get my Insure My Bag t-shirts together, even if they mocks. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yo, that's the only one that exists, but I got it though. So if people are interested, they see a physical manifestation of it. I could sell them on an idea now because they see me wearing it. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? You know, if you know, I'm streaming now. I own the copyright to my songs. I own the ISRC codes to my songs. I got them registered with Harry Fox. I got them registered with my PRO, Performance Right Organization, like ASCAP or BMI. I got it registered with Sound Exchange, which is the government's version of your mechanical royalties sort of thing that goes through. And I don't know all this stuff perfectly, but I know it enough to be getting them that this is what I do. And so if there's $10 out here for me, I can get that $10. Now keep this in mind. You put out enough songs that, yeah, one song was getting you maybe $100 a quarter. Well, now you had 30 songs. Maybe 30 songs is getting you $3,000 a quarter. Mm-hmm. You know, for a lot of us, $3,000 in a quarter is not a bad lick. That's $12,000 a year in and of itself. So already just from that, you're doing $12,000 a year. Mm-hmm. From your mechanicals, just from the streaming, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I get my mechanicals of your streaming. That may be another X amount that you get a month. Let's say that's another $200-$300. Let's say that your streaming alone generates $400 or $500 a month. That's $400-$500 a month that I'm generating in streaming. You understand? You know, which means that's roughly that's like $4,800 if we, you know, a year extra. So now you're at $16,000, let's call it $17,000 a year. Now you're almost close to a livable, it's not a livable wage, but for some of us that is a livable wage. You understand? All right, now you got your merch. Your merch is that you got you 1,000 fans. I got 1,000 fans that bang with me the long way. They like what I do. You heard they willing to spend $100 with me a year, about a year. So if I spread it out in a year, $100. $100, 1,000 fans was $100 plus times 1,000. That's 10,000. No, excuse me, $100 plus 1,000 fans is $100,000. $100,000 that you able to generate. So let's not even use 1,000 fans. Let's get 100 fans that you could get to spend $100 on you. You know what I'm saying? It's not short money, but what happens is that we'll be, you know, that's $10,000. That you will be looking at it like, you know, we're looking at jackpot things. Like everything is to win in the lottery with us. And so we don't know how to manipulate the thing and say, yo, fam, $100,000 a year to do what you like to do. That you are winning, bro. If you live modestly enough, that's a great wage, yo. People will think you rich as anybody else that they see and admire. Because you have so much disposable income at your thing. But, you know, we'll be thinking like, I got to have 1 million fans. And then with 1 million fans, I can offset this horrible business plan that I have. Because I have no idea what I'm doing. And so maybe if I make that much money, the impact of not knowing what I'm doing won't hurt as much.
Got it. So then as far as what lessons from your time with the UMCs and your solo career have shaped the way you approach the business side of music today?
Well, you know, where I'm at now, and I'll be honest with you, still a struggle because things are different, right? So there's all of this learning curve that you have to master, right? Is understanding how to, like when I was NY Oil, right? So when I was NY Oil, I made this song called Y'all Should All Get Lynched. I knew it was going to blow because it was controversial. I had a sense of it, but I didn't know it was going to blow like that, right? So it became this underground cult. Got 1 million views on YouTube. This is when YouTube was like only a year or two old, all right? So it wasn't even big like that. And this song was on YouTube. It blew. It was first rapper to get banned on YouTube behind this song. And make a long story short, I didn't know to have like my merch. I didn't know to have the single available for $1 download on my website. I didn't know to have these things together. And so because I didn't have these things together, whatever money could be made from that, I did not make. And so now I'm more like, I need to build some infrastructure. So what it is it's about building systems, infrastructure, and institutions. So you need systems. Systems are the means by which you achieve your daily operations. So a good system, example would be you get a mailing list. You know, so every time somebody goes to your website, they get it automatically added to your mailing list. And so from all those mailing list names on your mailing list now, you may send out a monthly mailer. Yo, what up? Yo, it's your friendly neighborhood fly guy, Cool Kim. Yo, just letting y'all know I got beats in Boston. So now I can promote my ideas to people that have already shown some level of interest in what I do. That's a system. Every month I generate an email that goes out. Infrastructure. Infrastructure is a good example. Infrastructure on a base level would be having a, if you go to my website and buy a t-shirt or buy like a ticket to Beats and Bars Barbecue, you pay through Shop Pay or whatever. That's that's part of my infrastructure. It's part of my working how things work, so that when there's interest in what I do and my system activates, when I have the actual buying interest or somebody has interest in me on some other accord, my infrastructure can process that interest and hopefully turn it into, and hopefully monetize that. Institutions are outside of yourself, you be a part of the institution, but it's generally outside of yourself, where what the institution provides for is the safekeeping and the structuring of things that make doing business functional. So ASCAP is an institution that helps to provide and protect you when you're trying to make sure that your publishing rights are honored, right? So if they play my record at a concert, you gotta pay that. If I perform my song at an event, I gotta get paid for the song, me performing it. You know what I'm saying? That's an institution. Now, in Black American music, we need those same institutions to protect us as well. And maybe it's not a performing rights organization. Maybe that's too big to dream of. Maybe it's as simple as we have a, artist education thing that goes on where this information I'm giving you now is generally discussed, and people like, yo, shorty coming into business, yo, little so-and-so, you just got on, I heard your record is hot. Hey, yo, come meet with us. We're going to sit down and talk with you about this, and let's walk them through. Now, we got a secretary. She's going to walk you through that. She's going to get you signed up and all that. Now, you straight? All that's going, you're going to get all that done today.
That would be nice.
You know what I'm saying? Today, you making it happen. All right, you making money. Yo, you did. How many numbers you did? All right, cool. We're going to get all that stuff sorted out. Everything that you need sorted out, we're going to have it. That's what an institution should be able to do. It's like, the dream of dreams. But there's institutions that exist that, like there's an institution that the Grammy supports called Music Cares. If you're an artist, you fall on hard times, you could contact Music Cares. And they'll send you a grant for like $1,000 maximum for if you fall on hard times. You gotta be able to show your stuff that, but that exists. You understand what I'm saying? So institutions run a gambit of things that they can be, but ultimately what they are the things that they're organizational things that support the safeguarding and the upkeep of the individuals that are in that workflow of whatever the context of that institution exists in. You know what I mean?
So can you speak about a moment when you had to make a tough business decision in your career and how it influenced your trajectory as an artist?
Unfortunately for me, right, anything like that I talk about is always going to sound like this moment of failure. But again, for the purposes of somebody else doing better than me, I'm going to tell you a quick version of that. So I'm making a bad decision now, a bad business decision right now. And I'm going to tell you why, because it's raining right now, right? And I didn't know how long it was going to take to do this. And I didn't know how long it was going to take before it rained, so I didn't put my tarp on my roof. So I'm worried right now. I'm in here like, I'm talking, I'm sitting there saying to myself, yo, my house might be getting flooded right now with rain, yo. So I'm already making this as a good example of a bad decision. I gotta break for a minute, but that not be standing. One time we were in a marketing meeting, and at this point I'm emotionally impacted by what I'm perceiving as a lack of success for the record. It's UMC days, 20 years old. So in the marketing meeting, I kind of have a tantrum. I'm like, yo, what are y'all thinking? Like, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Instead of being like, hey, guys, listen. I just want you guys to know that we're excited for this opportunity. This means the world to me. And I just need to know, what can I do to make you guys' job easier? Do you need me to come in and get on the phones? Do you need us to do video drops? You know, do you need us to, what can I do? How can I use my intellect, my talent? What can I do to help facilitate us winning? Because I'm on you guys' team just as much as you guys are on my team. And we all look good if we win. And I can imagine that it gets much easier if I'm helpful here. And I didn't have the emotional maturity nor the business savvy to articulate that sort of idea to them. And so what I ended up articulating was just angry kid. And so the impact of that was that, you know, it turned off people that I needed to be turned on. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, later on in life, it would be articulated to me as don't make any unnecessary enemies. You see what I'm saying?
I got it.
And so it didn't teach me something that I could talk about this great thing that happened. It's something that I talk about and say, I regret that I wasn't mentally equipped to handle this better. But it did teach me something that I was able to utilize for my life in general because I understood how impactful not approaching things effectively could be in my life.
We're going to pause for the cause real quick.
Yeah, let me go do this. Let me do this because I know it's crazy over there right now.
And then after all said and done, if anybody want to battle, all y'all MCs out there, y'all want to see what's up?
Alert! This is a Beats and Bars barbecue alert. Alert! This is a Beats and Bars barbecue alert.
When you go down and stay down, home team, you was bad enough to keep your mouth shut. Because if you ain't got nothing but time and opportunity,
It's on.
somebody need to go live or something too, just so I can make sure it ain't no take backs, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, we haven't even started ramping this thing up. You understand? We in still cool out mode. We still getting the sleep off from them long drives y'all took in them airplane things. So I want y'all to just be relaxed, kick it, vibe. Don't be them, you know, don't sequester yourself. We all here to chill and enjoy. This is a family event. All right? You see my wife cooking for y'all. Ain't nothing but love. She been waiting to cook for y'all for months now. Yeah. She's so fired up, Stan. Yo, I'm happy to be in service of hip hop. Let me just say that. But let me talk my shit, all right? What is happening, what we're talking about is in a minute, I'm going to get on that grill. Now, I'm chilling right now because I'm trying to mingle and trying to make sure stuff is together so this and that and the third, there's things that got to happen. There's an operation going on here. Well, let me explain something to you. When I get on this grill, you're going to find out something about me that clearly y'all don't know. I am the one true Iron Chef of hip-hop. Everybody know what time it is with Kool Kimmy, the Iron Chef of hip hop. Now I've established this before. I have taken people out before. They tried me before. I bodied them. I'm gonna show y'all firsthand what this cooking game be like. If you wanna get on the grills, or y'all DJs, y'all wanna get behind the grill, the ones this is what a DJ system is here, is the grill. So if you wanna get on the ones and twos and see what it do, come see the Iron Chef of hip hop, the one and only Kool Kim. Right here, we going Iron Chef of hip hop. We gonna talk about this more, but I just thought I would put this in the air so y'all know. Whoever want that smoke, we got the grill.
Thank you for watching Insure Your Bag podcast. Make sure you hit that button, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned every Saturday for more information on how to secure your bag.